guys, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. So keep your questions coming in. I love them. It's actually what fuels my content creating mania. Okay, so sometimes I'll do like 2 videos a day, unless I'm traveling. I've been traveling a lot lately, but I'm gonna get a stretch of time, a few weeks now, where I'm gonna be here, probably doing 2 videos a day for clinical research, a couple a week for real estate, and my book reviews. So keep watching, keep subscribing, keep your questions coming to me, your clinical research questions, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. So today I'm going to talk about what to do. I've done so many videos on how to build a clinic and how to start a clinic and how to find PIs and get studies and hire and train staff, all the legal aspects revolving around that topic. Today I wanted to talk to the more established clinics on how to actually grow your clinic. So if you're brand new to research but you've already taken those steps, you already have a PI, you already have a clinic, what are your long-term goals? And even if you're not there yet, let's say you haven't found a PI and you haven't started a clinic yet, even if you're not there yet, you should have some kind of goal, some kind of plan in place. And I don't really believe, I'm not a big fan of business plans at all, but I think they're important to create once, just so you have like a roadmap of where you want to go, just big picture stuff, like a blimp view of what you're doing and where you want to go. And then as soon as you write that business plan and got it kind of memorized, like ingrained in your brain about the path you're going to take it, throw it out, throw it in the trash, and because you don't want to miss opportunities. And if you stick to your business plan, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities. You're not going to take advantage of certain situations when they present themselves, because opportunities come sometimes disguised as problems, right? So, not a huge fan of business plans, but this video is kind of about what to strive for. So there's different options when it comes to having a research company, a research clinic, specifically the research clinics, okay? You have the option of either building a very large research clinic, so you won't really need more than 1 or 2 PIs, enough investigators to handle all the studies you're going to be bringing. So there's some clinics that are just humongous standalone research clinics that have like 20 investigators and 100 coordinators. I mean, humongous, right? And they don't have any other sites. And sometimes they could be very profitable. Sometimes they can be just barely breaking even. And sometimes they could be bleeding and hemorrhaging cash. So it really comes down to how you run the business. All right, and you got to focus on the metrics that lead to profitability and that you can measure the profitability over the period of time. Now, another strategy that a lot of researchers are doing, so if you don't want to build that mega clinic, you can take this strategy, which is kind of the strategy that I've been doing, is having many small research clinics all conducting different therapeutic indication studies. So different studies and different therapeutic indications, spread them across a region. I started in Southern California, so I had one in Orange County, one in LA County, one in San Bernardino, Riverside County. Now I've expanded to Baltimore, Bakersfield, recently in Chicago, across the US. I have one in Mexico. And this is not to brag, this is to tell you that there's another model there other than creating a mega clinic. And it's having smaller clinics. And by the way, all these clinics that I mentioned are all different companies with different partners. I'm involved, but they're all different partners. You could actually have all these clinics be part of the same company. That's just not the route that I chose to go. The opportunities presented themselves. Luckily, I threw my business plan out the window and reacted to what the market was giving me. And part of that is thanks to this blog and to these videos, I'm getting approached and I'm getting offers on a regular basis. So I understand that that's not the norm for most people. So if it's not the norm for you, you can still open a bunch of clinics in different areas. and just keep it under one umbrella, one company. Okay, so you want to. That's the model I like because I like to diversify myself. I like multiple streams of income. I don't want to be dependent on just one PI or one therapeutic indication, or even, no matter how big it is, one mega clinic. So that's the route I chose to go. With that being said, there is no right or wrong way. There is no right way to make a lot of money in clinical research. There are, and we can learn from this, several ways to lose money and not be profitable, regardless of the model that you choose from these 2 or 3 models that I just presented. Namely, hiring too many staff members, not training staff members appropriately, being too reliant on one therapeutic indication, or too reliant on one CRO or one sponsor. But just because I chose to go the route of having a bunch of smaller clinics that are all very profitable, or at least most of them are getting to that point of being highly profitable, yet very small, I don't need that many studies in order for me personally and my clinics individually to have successful years. Overhead is low at all these clinics. I can scale. So if I get one study at one clinic, I can pretty much share it with my other clinics. And they may not all want that study, but still, I have leverage. It's scalable. I'm doing the same amount of work to get that one study and then sharing it to all my other clinics. So I don't need that many studies for me to actually do very well and multiply that success at every clinic. Now, just because I chose that model doesn't mean that you can't succeed at building a mega clinic. I know a handful of people that I talk to regularly that have mega clinics across the country that are doing way better than me. I mean, way better, right? I'll be completely honest with you. I drive a BMW 7 Series. These guys fly private jets, all right? These guys drive Rolls Royces. These guys have Lamborghinis. I'm not on that level yet. For those who know me well, you know I want to buy the Clippers. So, and I'm going to accomplish that through different industries, not just clinical research. And I'm currently in the process of building a CRO, and I'm currently in the process of building a training academy where we're going to train future CRAs, future coordinators, future project managers. I'm also working on a lot of techie stuff with apps and specifically aimed at study participants. So I'm going to get there. I wrote my business plan. I know the path I'm going to take. And I crumpled it up and threw it out the window. And but I know people who run these mega clinics that just have one clinic, okay? Sometimes just 4 PIs, 5 PIs, with one of the PIs being the owner, and they make bank, okay, for lack of a better word. Their receivables are like $5 million a month. These are not CROs I'm talking about. These are research clinics that do primarily inpatient studies, phase 1 studies, but some of them do outpatient studies with inpatient studies, so a combination. So there's no right way to make a lot of money in this industry. There's no right way to be successful in this industry. And then success is subjective to what you want it to be. Okay, you may not need $1 million. All right, you may not care about that. You may just want a lifestyle business. I work with other clinics out there through my consulting firm, where the clinic owners have been real honest with me and said, hey, I'm not looking to be a millionaire. I'm just looking to make 6 figures a year, provide a lifestyle business for myself, maybe have a business to hand over to my kids if they want to work in this industry. But it's not I'm not that ambitious to where I want to like buy the Clippers like you, or have private jets, or have even a BMW. I just want to be able to pay my bills, work when I want to, do only the studies that I want to do. And so there's nothing wrong with that either. It really comes down to what you want to do. And but there are a few fundamental things that you don't want to do, regardless of which model you choose. You don't want to lose money. Okay, one of my favorite books I've read this year was What I Learned Losing $1 Million. You don't want to lose money. You don't want to fool yourself into thinking that you're right, even though the market's telling you otherwise. So I did this back in 2009 when their clinical research market was turning, we went from a period of an abundance of clinical trials to very few in a very short amount of time. And I foolishly expanded into this downturn. So I invested more money, hired more people into a downturn because I thought it was just temporary, and I thought other people were crazy for panicking. So I wanted to actually invest. That was foolish, and I actually convinced myself that I was right and what the market was telling me was wrong. Well, it turns out I was wrong. The market was right. So that's one, regardless of which business model you choose, there are some fundamental things that you don't want to do when it comes to how you invest your money, how you manage your money, and specifically how to keep your money. All right, so those are important. My next series of videos are going to be talking about that. But keep your questions coming. These are good. And even though this was kind of a collection of questions I've been getting, like a theme from a lot of you research clinic owners out there on, hey, I'm not a brand new clinic, but what are some of my options here as I'm growing, and how do I grow? And the answer is, it boils down to what you want. What do you want to get out of this, right? So thanks for watching. Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Subscribe. Subscribe to the email list. Subscribe to YouTube. And keep your questions coming in, all right? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.